the It Takes Grit podcast. We are finally back. And if you are a brand new listener, then welcome. Whew, it has been a hot minute since we have filmed an episode. In fact, the last episode was July of 2022. And let me tell you, over the last 18 months, lots has happened, and I can't wait to share with you the It Takes Grit version 2.0. That's what we are calling our new podcast of the It Takes Grit, the 2.0 version. So I just wanted to come on here briefly and give you a little bit of an expectation of what the It Takes Grit podcast is going to be like this year. We are in 2024. It's been 18 months since our very last episode. And there's been a lot that's happened in the last 18 months with myself, with you, and also all of our amazing guests that we had on the very first version of It Takes Grit. So I want to just do a little quick recap on where have we been, what to expect, why we're back, and why it's going to be so important for you to stay connected and what we have here at the It Takes Grit podcast. So first of all, who am I? If you are brand new, I want to say a massive welcome. My name is Rebecca Louise. I'm originally from England. I moved to California to get my commercial pilot's license, which I did get at the age of 22. And then I started making workout videos on YouTube. I know, a little bit of a transition from being a pilot to actually learning how to do workout videos on YouTube. And I'll go into my story a little bit more as this year progresses. But that's who I am. I've got an incredible book that lots of you have already read called It Takes Grit. It was an Amazon #1 bestseller. And now I have an amazing community of people that are lifting each other up. We're all about positivity. We're all about gratitude. We're all about having a great attitude. And of course, most importantly, finding our grit. So if you're like, you know what, I really just need Rebecca personally to hold me accountable, you can just head on over to our brand new website, rebecca-louise.com, and click on Work With Me, and you'll find under there all of the programs that I have. I welcome you with big welcome arms, a big hug. If I could jump into your house right now, and I'd probably hug you and then I'd probably shake you, right? Because sometimes we just need a really good shake to wake ourselves up and get us to become aware. But this podcast is all about the grit that you need to help you get to where you want to be. And I share tips that have really helped me. And I also bring on incredible guests. And what we do is we dissect their story. Because the biggest thing that I love to share with people is hey, you can do it too. You're no different than anybody that I have on my podcast. You're no different to anybody that you look at online or in books or were on TV. The only difference is they found some inner grit that kept them going when times were tough. And I just want to bring you loads and loads and loads of stories so that it gives you the confidence that you can go after your dreams. Because I believe that when you find that inner grit, and you have grit, and you go, you know what, even when the universe knocks me down, I'm going to find that grit to fight and keep on going. That is how you're going to be able to get to your goals. And it's also going to help you live in a state of happiness, in gratitude, in confidence and belief. So I've got so many incredible guests that have already planned for 2024. So you do not want to miss any of them, right? So that is what the podcast is all about. And why are we bringing it back? Why are we here for version 2.0? Well, honestly, I've missed interviewing people and bringing you their stories, right? Because I've seen over the last 18 months, so many people not believing in themselves, having a challenge to break through their limiting beliefs. And, lots of our current listeners have been saying, when is the It Takes Grit podcast coming back? So I thought, you know what? It's about time. The last 18 months have been a bit crazy. We've had loads of things going on, climbing Mount Everest, charity work all over the world. There's been lots of things going on. And so now is the right time to bring it back because I'm in a place where I'm able to fully commit to the podcast. Because I'm not one of those people that's going to say, you know what, I'm just going to do an episode here and there and then leave you hanging. No, right? I'm going to give you amazing episodes consistently every single week. So if you've already been a listener of the It Takes Grit podcast, make sure that you share that we are back. Make sure that you tell everybody, your friends and family, that they need to listen to this podcast to give them a little bit of extra light and just a little bit of a great attitude that's going to help them rewire their brain to get them to where they want to be, all right? So loads of incredible things coming this year that are going to be able to help you, give you the tools to find that grit, right? And that's what we always talk about here on the podcast, is finding your grit. It does take grit. It takes a lot of grit. It does take hard work. However, when you're being surrounded with the right people, and you have accountability, and you have people that are cheering you on and believe that you can do it and that you're going to get through the challenges that you're currently facing, you're going to feel so much lighter, you're going to have so much more confidence, and you're going to know that just with a little bit of extra grit that you might not have right now, that you're going to get from this podcast, you're going to be able to reach your dreams, right? So loads of incredible things. We've got some old guests coming back because I always think it's so great to see where somebody has been and where they are now. I know that loads of you follow all of the guests that we've had on the It Takes Grit podcast. I'm excited to interview them again, 18 months, 2 years, even some 2.5 years later, and see how they have changed, how they've evolved, and what they've been up to. Because that's the most exciting thing. When you get people who are entrepreneurs and people going after things in life and they're doing new things and they're traveling, it's so great to just meet up with them every 6 months and say, hey, what is it that you've been up to? And then you get to share that. So I'm excited to bring back lots of our previous guests that we've had before, your favorites, and then also add some incredible new people that you might not know yet, or people that you actually really look up to. You are going to be very excited about the list that we have for the It Takes Grit podcast. So back to what this podcast is going to be all about. Most importantly, it's going to be about finding that grit. And each chapter that we have together over the next year is going to develop your skills on a whole other level that you didn't even know was possible. And we're going to utilize other people's stories to show you where you can find your grit, where they were struggling before and where you can now find your grit. So I'm so excited to bring this podcast back. Get ready for our official first full episode where we are going to be talking about setting goals, but actually ones that you can achieve. Because how many times in the new year are you like, setting goals, this feels very redundant. I've done this before, but I'm going to give you something that I've learned recently that has changed the game to making sure that you don't just set goals, you achieve them. And it's not going to be something that you even feel like even was that obvious. But that's going to be our very first full official episode. So make sure that you are subscribed, right? Whether you are watching on YouTube or whether you are listening, subscribe to your favorite podcast platform. And of course, follow us on the It Takes Grit Instagram account as well. And of course, lastly, share this with your friends and family. There's going to be somebody in your life right now that is not feeling a 10. That is not even feeling a 5. And all you can do is share with them something that's going to be able to get their energy up and help them live a life of confidence, of happiness, of gratitude. So share the It Takes Grit podcast. Tell everybody that we are back because we are rocking and rolling for 2024. It's going to be an amazing year. You are in for a real treat. All right, I'll see you on our first official episode.